this felt right and this felt necessary.
In her first interview in more than 2 years, and the first since her life turned upside down, Elizabeth Chambers is opening up exclusively to E! News as our digital cover star, and she's ready to comment.
For a very long time, we've said no comment, no comment, no comment, no comment, no comment. Do you want to give them anything? No comment. My agent, my manager, my publicist, like, no, no. You know, part of me felt like it was taking the high road, and part of me was like, just let us process, and part of me was like, it's none of your business.
How would you describe the woman that you are today?
I would describe myself as very focused and very clear and healed. Honestly, like, obviously we're never fully, 100%. It's a process, and it has been a process. I feel like I'm in a really, really good space and the best mom I can be. So I'm really focused on the next chapter.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like you, in the past 2 years specifically, sat down and processed everything that has occurred?
Definitely, I processed everything that occurred in the last 2 years. I don't think it was as, simple as or clearly defined as sitting down. It was, a sound healing, a breakthrough with writing intentions, burning things, putting into the ocean, having prayer by myself, having beach walks with my kids, having too much wine with my friends. Like, it is all of that, right? Like, it's not just like sitting down and journaling. It's like whatever you need at that time and realizing that you're gonna honor that. And it was setting boundaries with people whom I thought I could trust. It's not always pretty and it's not always peaceful, and it takes on many forms. So it was probably a big compilation of a lot of things.
Being in a relationship with someone for 10 years is no joke. That's a long time, right? So when you look back on those 10 years, how do you now view them?
I feel everything has been a gift. I really do. I feel that everything has happened as it's supposed to for me, and I'm not speaking on anyone else. All we can do is be responsible for ourselves, right? And all we can do is react in a way that is with compassion, with love, with understanding, listening to everything around us, and then be the best we can be.
It feels like you're on the other side of this at this point, and I know that you weren't always there. How are the divorce proceedings going?
Our divorce is not finalized. We've had, again, like kind of different countries, and traveling back and forth have delayed it a bit, but we're in a really great place. We talk all the time. We're committed fully and wholly to our children, and to being together as much as possible in a non-romantic way for our kids. Kids need their mom, kids need their dad.
What has co-parenting been like for you in the past couple of years?
Army's really been focused on his healing and his process. You can't really take care of someone until you are taken care of, right? Like, there's a reason on a plane why they say secure your own mask before helping others. He has been very busy securing his own mask. My mask has been secured. Their masks are on, so right now it's really been a lot about just focusing on them, protecting them, and working with him in his process, which is a long journey.
So I am curious, as far as your communication with him, how often are you trying to facilitate in him putting that mask on?
Yeah, I mean, I'm here to support that process. It's gonna make him the best father he can be, the best person he can be. At the end of the day, that's the goal, right? So we're in constant communication, and all that matters is that he is the best dad for our children. And that obviously he processes everything else that he's dealing with personally.
Did you ever feel like or think that this would be his journey?
No, but I don't think any of us actually ever really know, right? So all we can do is look forward and protect the future.
A lot of people use the term starting over when they go through a divorce. Do you identify with that phrase, or do you see yourself starting over in a way?
I mean, at the end of the day, a divorce is a death, right? Like, it is a mourning process and a mourning period. And it was the last thing I ever wanted, of course. In my particular situation, we were together since we were 19. Like, we grew up together, and we have so many memories and so many experiences, and we traveled the world, and that is so beautiful. And I do feel like I look back at it as a different phase in my life. I don't think we're starting over. I think we're just continuing on our path with maybe a shifted perspective.
What does strength mean to you today as opposed to what it may have meant years ago?
Like, I thought that I had a very clear vision of my life. I wanted 4 kids, and we had this sort of plan. We had that all mapped out. It was this moment of realizing that we kind of got off the hamster wheel for me, and realizing that I was spread very thinly trying to do everything, trying to be everywhere. I was on a plane 5 days a week, putting the kids to sleep, flying to New York, coming back. Like, it was just a lot. And so to have that moment where you're just still in the moment and with your kids close to you and in a place of healing gave me strength. You know, I think we all need to recharge, and I think we need to reevaluate, and I think we need to prioritize. I couldn't experience something and then just like power through. I think processing is a really powerful and important word. You have to process how you're feeling, why you're feeling, and I felt that that was something that was absolutely necessary for me.
What are you teaching your 7-year-old daughter, Harper, about what it means to be that strong woman?
That is at the core of every decision I make. That is at the core of, you know, staying in a situation or relationship that like you wouldn't let your daughter stay in a relationship. For me, it is empowering her. It is being truthful to an extent that's appropriate for her age. You know, I think that things are really changing with our generation. Our parents and our grandparents, if something was happening in a family or if they were having struggles, it was really brushed under the rug. But sunshine is the best disinfectant. And for me, it is literally about acknowledging things, owning things, and then nobody can weaponize anything against you, right? Like, if you're like, I understand this is happening. Obviously she's 7, I'm processing it in a different way, but really setting her up and my son up in a way that they have those tools. They're gonna be empowered, they're gonna know exactly how to process, and they are going to know that feelings are okay. No feelings are wrong. It's just a matter of, you know, I always say better out than in. Let's talk about it. Let's work through it.
Now, Elizabeth, there's of course this documentary that just came out. It's getting a lot of buzz. Have you seen it, or do you have any plans on seeing it at all?
I did not plan on seeing it, and I did drop the kids off at school one day and came home and watched it with my support system around me. It was obviously heartbreaking on so many levels and very painful, but at the same time it exists, and I think we need to take this moment as a moment to listen and to learn. You know, that's all we can do, right?
Were you surprised by anything you saw?
I definitely was surprised, but you know, I think that's to be expected. It didn't feel great, especially when you feel like you have done that work, but I mean, the moral of the story is the work is never done, right?
Were you reached out in regards to the documentary at all?
I was, yeah, they reached out several times. I consider myself a feminist, and at the end of the day, like, I also stand in solidarity with anyone who has been a victim of any sort and hope that they find that healing as well. There is always hope for anybody, no matter what they're going through. That's a very important thing for me to say, and for me to hopefully continue to have that conversation, because it can feel really isolating.
So how did you get on that other side? I mean, and be completely transparent there. How does it feel to be on that other side?
No, I mean, listen, a year ago, I'll be working at the bakery and, you know, customers like, how are you? How are you really? I'm like, I can promise you, because like people are searching, right? I'm like, no, I'm really well right now, thank you. If you asked me that a year ago, the answer probably wouldn't be the same. If you asked me that a year and a half ago, you would have a different answer, or I'd be lying to you. Again, it's the process. Time does heal, but time alone doesn't heal. You need to, again, work through it. What is it that you are grieving? Is it the fact that you met when you were 19, you always thought it was gonna be one way? Okay, that's beautiful. I believe in soulmates. I believe in everything. People are flawed. People, you know, make horrible mistakes. People change, by the way. And for me, the whole time, it has always been about like, these are my boundaries, these are my guidelines. If you can meet them, then we can take the next step. They say when you're going through hell, keep on going. It's so cliche, but you just have to work through it, and you can't numb it, and you can't pretend it doesn't exist. Like I said, call in every resource. Like, ask for help. Tell people what you need. And if they're not gonna be there for you when you need them, then they're not your people.
Are you looking to be in love again?
I think that's part of healing, to be honest. People heal in so many different ways from so many different things. So I'm not trying to make any blanket statements. But for me personally, like, definitely it was having that moment where like I let my heart be open again. And like, you know, you go from almost feeling your heart is shattered in 9 million pieces and like it's wrapped in every kind of like cast and gauze, like nothing can touch it, to like being like, okay, I think that like I can, you know, be like love and be loved again. So I'm very happy. I'm very happy. Elizabeth? I'm very, yeah, I'm good. I'm really good.
So Elizabeth, are you
I'll show you photos later.
So, Elizabeth, can I say, are you dating?
I am dating.
Is it casual dating? Is it something serious? How do you feel?
No, I feel like casual dating is a very important process to that journey. Like, I am in a committed relationship now.
Could you see yourself one day having even more children? I know that you mentioned that 4 children was on your list at one point. Could you see it?
I can see anything. We are on this planet for a very short period of time. I don't think we need to overthink anything. I think we need to focus on healing. I think we need to focus on helping others. I think we need to focus on being there for those in our life who have been there for us. And then, like, the rest of it is just whatever happens. This felt very organic. Like I said, for a very long time, we've said no comment, no comment, no comment, no comment, no comment. But this felt right, and this felt necessary because, you know, it is a moment to let people know that they're not alone. After several years of saying, like, no comment, we definitely felt like this was a conversation that was helpful and necessary, and I appreciate it.